Come on, baby.
What up? What up? What up? What's happening, good people? Y'all know what time it is, man. It is the Bottom of the Bottle Show, the Bottom of the Bottle Live Show, BOTV Live. Man, look, I'm Jay Walker the third. That's my partner, my brother, my drinking partner, Carolina there, 803. What's good with you?
Ain't shit, well, you had that Elmer Fudd tongue just now, but ain't shit. Got this drink. I got my shine. They were mixing calypso and tequila, so I did calypso and shine with a shot of Red Bull. So it's Friday night sipping, bro.
You got a lot of shit brewing over there, because I'm gonna go ahead and drink this good, high quality H2O that Bobby Boucher was talking about. Either way, man, y'all know what time it is, man. We always have extraordinary people on the pod, man. This is no different than any other day, man. Mr. Mark Montgomery, at Markmont, not originally from, in Atlanta, by way of Massachusetts. We had this discussion in the background of the pronunciation and all that good shit. What's going on with you, Mr. Mark?
Just another warm Friday night here in Atlanta. And, just really looking forward to having quite the conversation with two brothers in front of me.
Hey, man, same mama, same dad, that type shit. We not just brothers in spirit. We came from the same nutsack. Nah, man, in a real way, man, we appreciate you pulling up on us, man. Like I said, we always talk about extraordinary people, man, and the extraordinary things that they do. You never know who you're talking to until you have a conversation with them. And that's what this podcast is built on.
Awesome.
Okay, man. We do this thing to, kind of like an icebreaker, man. It's called First Call, a.k.a. the Six Pack. It's 6 questions. I got 3. My brother got 3. Like I said, just an icebreaker, Kyle.
All right, let's do it.
For mine, I think I'm going to do Black Blasphemy, man. Are you familiar with Black Blasphemy?
Black Blasphemy? No, but it sounds, I know what these words mean, so, I might be able to.
Absolutely. So Black Blasphemy is shit that they assume that black people just enjoy because they black.
Ooh, I like this.
You know what I'm saying? For an example, baked macaroni and cheese is highly overrated.
Baked macaroni and cheese?
Right.
Is it?
That's an example.
Okay.
I'm about to say, how's you gonna cook that shit?
Motherfuckers do, crab macaroni, liquid cheese, depending on where you at.
Oh man, real quick, just because you said that, man. So we had a potluck 2 years ago at work, bro. This white lady decided to bring mac and cheese. She don't even cook. She DoorDash every day at work. For the 2 years she was there, she never brought food. She DoorDash. She came in with some raw noodles. Well, not raw. They look raw. And shredded cheese.
With sliced cheese on the
shredded cheese. Shredded cheese. It wasn't even melted.
I'm sorry. That's all I'm sorry. I'm
So
sorry
it's
from
only
my
me and
heart.
another black person. We looked at each other. What the fuck is this? Man, go ahead, man. That shit
That's
disturbing.
fair because you just know what not to eat. And I'm sure she had to take that shit home.
She did. She had everything else.
Okay. So black blasphemy, man. Normally, like I said, I would do 3 questions, but I'm digging this black blasphemy shit. And instead of it just being you, we should all do one. So what would be your first black blasphemy?
Me personally,
Yeah.
first black blasphemy. Sorry, guys. I think depends on who I'm talking to. Some people, like if it's on the phone, definitely. Some people don't presume that I'm black based on how I talk. If I'm talking a little bit more, straightforward or business or what have it is everybody talks in a lot of different ways, or if you don't, you just have one way. But I have a lot of different ways, that I talk based on the environments I'm in, based on the people I'm talking about. Shoot, what I might be going through for the day or for the season or for the decade. You never know. But there's definitely been times where, people on the phone heard me away and then saw me in person. Was like, "Oh, I thought you were white." And it's like,
Right.
no. Now, where do you want to go? Did you think this through? Where do you want to go with this conversation now? Now that you've acknowledged this, where would you like to go, Mr. Brown Man?
Code switching is definitely a thing. Code switching is definitely a thing. My black blasphemy is I just had it in my head. Oh, my black blasphemy is I never have to see Menace to Society again.
That's definitely blasphemous.
I never have to see it again.
I'm not mad at that. I don't replay many movies. I'm not that guy. And time is valuable, like there's always going to be more movies you haven't seen than movies you've seen. So it's like,
For sure.
do you really want to sit down and watch this multi-hour length film again or watch this series again? That's not really my cup of tea. Hey, no disrespect to the classics, but yeah.
It's going to be a classic. I respect you seeing it as a classic.
Yeah.
However, I ain't got to see it again.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that.
What you got, Carolina?
I might not watch the whole movie, but I'll watch clips of it. Black blasphemous. I like picking up my daughter from school. As a black man. Especially early. I'm not just talking about, I'm talking about early. Walk into the principal, into the office and pick up.
See, you might have lost me at the early part. I think the modern day man is like, whether they do it or not, they're required to express an energy towards the interest of picking up a child. Like if you don't, then you ain't gonna be talking about it if that's not of interest to you, or you're gonna be fabricating something when pressed on the topic. But I think just in the current climate of society, it does seem like something that most adults who like their kids would enjoy doing. Because if you enjoy your kids, then your kids probably enjoy you. So what they give you back when you pick them up is like, yeah, that's a vibe. That tracks.
Maybe I should have.
Maybe we talking the 90s would be a little bit different. 90s and prior.
Maybe I should say things that the general black public would crucify you for is a black blasphemy.
Okay. Crucify me for. Shit, I don't eat steak. I don't eat fish. I don't eat fish. I don't eat fried fish.
That's close.
Yeah.
Steak? I don't think Cat's gonna get on you about that. I think Cat's gonna get on you for not playing spades.
Definitely,
for sure.
Not eating collard greens.
Yeah, I'm getting on your ass.
I'm not big on collard greens. Like, don't judge me.
Yours should have been
from the South, so don't even try. But
right,
like, it's not my thing. Really
yours should have been like spare ribs. Barbecue ribs is overrated. You know what I'm saying?
Barbecue ribs is overrated.
Okay.
I don't
What
like
you got, Mark?
What will people like? get at me for.
The general black, stereotypical black shit that they just assume all black people enjoy.
Let's see what I don't enjoy. Okay. What don't I enjoy?
Or do enjoy, for that matter. If you like playing goddamn croquet, whatever the fuck the game is. If you prefer cricket to baseball,
yeah. That's funny, because as you say, I've never thought of that, but like I think I would prefer that, but that's not mine. I think these days, like, one I'll just kind of briefly hit on, like, more people are a lot more open to all musical genres. That wasn't really that big of a, like, you would get destroyed in the 90s. Like, oh, you listen to classical, right? It's like, I listen to all genres, right? I listen to pretty much all. I can't name a genre that I don't like. Now, I might not listen to them on a regular basis, but like, I like good music, period, right? So that's how that goes. But separate from that, trying to think, man, I haven't thought about this topic in so long. I want to get a good one though. Oh, well, this one's a little obtuse, but I know specifically, especially in a dating capacity, most perceive like low height or average height as like an instance of like inferiority, or at a minimum, like you couldn't be nearly as competitive in a dating light. But I love my height. I'm 5'7". I do not want to be. I would never want to be any taller. Like my height, it makes what I do a lot more practical. Like everything I do, I'm good with this. I'm good with this. Right?
Well, this is what I'm gonna tell you.
Average height, I'm good with that. Y'all go ahead and be tall. It's cool. I'm good. Right.
This is what I'm gonna tell you about that. And it's the shit that nobody thinks about. These women all want a motherfucker 6'3", 6'7". I'm 6'1". I probably was closer to 6'2", and then my back started giving me issues. You feel me? Mm-hmm. But everything that they make around this motherfucker is for a motherfucker 5'8".
Yeah.
Washing dishes ain't fun when you over 6 feet tall. Getting in most cars ain't fun when you over 6 feet tall.
Airplanes.
Sitting behind somebody. Going to the fucking movies. Going to a football game.
Taking a shit.
You
harder. Everything. Clothes are more difficult.
Clothes ain't really a big deal as much as some of that other shit. Now, granted, you don't need no help when they stock the coolers. When you go to the grocery store and they stock the coolers on top of the cooler, you can grab that bitch. But how often does that happen?
Right. Hopefully not often.
Okay, y'all real bad at this black blasphemy shit.
Yeah, I am. I don't even know that word. I heard. I'm not.
He's the comic relief around this motherfucker. My black blasphemy is, I'm sick of you motherfuckers with these big ass goddamn rims. That's my black blasphemy. I'm sick of y'all motherfuckers.
Like how big? Like what's too far?
26 is
26 is big. 26 is big. Right. I'm not.
And I say that because
22s and that's like that's pretty.
22s, 24s, I get it. 26 is on the verge of. This is stupid.
It's like too much. It's like too much teeth. You know what I mean? It's like big teeth are good, but you can't have too much teeth. You know what I mean?
Yo, 2010 Chevy Malibu is not gonna last.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you, cuz if this rim bends, you motherfucking you can't even put a spare tire on that bitch.
There's one. I mean, there's like one tire that'll fit like your build, likely.
Big rims are impractical. That's my black blasphemy.
Man, I seen 28s on a damn Nissan Murano the other day.
Oh no, 2024 cats ain't gonna really get on you like that, because how many people don't even got a whip though? You know what I mean? Like, it's a different era now. right? Like it's different. It's different.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
You got one more?
Yeah, I mean, I've never owned a pair of Timbs, and I'm okay with that.
Damn. That's a good one.
That's pretty.
I've never
pretty
owned a
rough.
pair of
That's
Timbs,
pretty-
and I'm cool with that.
That's pretty rough. You ain't had no wheats. You ain't got what?
Bruh, I'm talking about,
Did
I
you
don't
have a
have
puffy?
any.
You have a North Face? Hit him with a North Face?
I ain't had that
Canada
either.
Goose? Nothing? Little off-brand, little nothing?
I had a Timberland T-shirt. I ain't never had no Timberland boots.
You had a tip. You were observing black.
Yeah,
guys,
I was observing.
right?
Shit, I was lucky.
Yeah.
I think I bought that from TJ Maxx.
See, I'm fine. I'm fine with that, but man, no Tim's, no puffy is like that is you win. You win. I think you win this round. That's pretty rough.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. What you got? Last round. What you got, Mark?
I don't know. I'm real black. I do a lot of black things, so it's kind of hard for me to think on that other list. Oh well. So this is rough because I'm in Atlanta. There's not a lot of trap music I like. Not because I don't think trap music is good, right? Shout out to the cast that's solid, but ultimately like modern day, quote unquote modern day trap or whatever it might be termed now. Like I'm not with it. Like I'm not with it like at all. The greater majority, I'm gonna say like 99% of it, I'm not with it. I'm not, and I'll. It's just like I'm just not.
You
with
kind of stepped. You kind of stepped on my toes with that one. That was gonna be my last one.
Man,
I never understood the appeal of the Migos. Bad and Bougie was not super great. The people that thought it was the shit, I was just confused.
Yeah.
I will extend that because I'm looking for hate mail at this point. Fuck
Yeah.
Future.
Yeah, I'm not gonna name any names just to be respectful, but there's definitely.
Nah, I'm looking for hate mail at this point.
There's a lot of popular folks, and there's a lot of just folks in general that I'm just like, nah, I'm good. I'm like so good. These people I haven't listened to one singular track. If I hear it in passing, like I've heard things in passing, I'm like, no, I'm not.
I ain't never
going
queued
on
it up.
Spotify, not going on YouTube. I'm not finding that.
And this is what I'll say. By no means am I saying they don't deserve any of the accolades or money that they have generated for what they deem as art. But it missed me.
Yeah. I feel you. You mean you like conscious things that actually? Let me chill.
Nah, I mean, like I said, we talked about our age demographic. We just come from a different time musically.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get it twisted. There has always been bullshit music.
Mm-hmm.
There has always been bullshit music.
Yep.
Tim Dog. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just certain motherfuckers that just didn't do it for me. But as a genre, I never had a dislike for a genre.
Yeah.
Of black music.
Or a time period,
Or a time period.
Yeah. And it's annoying because there's a lot of good music in every like micro genre, right? There is a lot of good trap music, like a ton, and there's a lot of really good producers who can remix the heck out of some stuff, out of just like some vocals, with their own production. But ultimately, yeah, between social media, mainstream, and just what gets popular, what goes viral, and what people put attention to, it really muddies the airwaves to be able to catch on to a lot of the other stuff. Yeah, it's unfortunate. I feel like that doesn't happen nearly as much inside of other genres. Like I don't have to dig that hard to find good stuff inside of like other genres that I rock with. But for some reason, likely because of just the popularity and the virality, when it comes to rap, the worst of what it's like, I feel like the worst of what we have is on display, and it's what gets so blown up, right? we don't need to get super into it, but one thing that doesn't help is who owns the labels, who owns the companies that are, making the decisions, that are circulating that are signing this artist because of this reason, because this is going to line this person's pockets, or this is going to index on their ROI, right? Like those, whoever's up there, whether they're black, white, yellow, brown, it doesn't, I want us to own what we create. I don't have anything against another race or nationality, being up at the top. What I do have is when it detracts away from the end quality, or when it perpetuates negative tropes or causes a mortality rate, right? That's a bit different, right? When what you're doing is causing the death of my race, yeah, I got a problem with that. With when you're signing artists because you want to make numbers, and these tracks are messing up the education system because of just how distraction works. I have a problem with that, right? So it's a lot deeper than me not just liking the music. There's serious consequence that comes with who is deciding to put out these artists and whatnot. I have nothing against any artists, from a personal standpoint. Like, I'm not here to, tell you what you can't rap about or tell you what you can't create. That's not me. I don't have that power. But what I don't like is the normalization of what is not progressive to the end goal of quality music and quality, quality add to society, quality add to people, right? That's,
Well, you said a mouthful, and that's we've talked this Drake Kendrick thing in a circle, but it's definitely, I don't disagree with your take. That's what I'm gonna say. What you got, Carolina? You up next?
Shit, our whole thing, man. Fuck Hennessy. I ain't got to have it ever again in my life.
Fuck Hennessy is a good one. We've been saying that so long, it's not a blasphemy no more.
That's a good one. It's horrible. It's bullshit liquor.
We'll say the Hennessy, that low shelf Hennessy, that's trash. That's trash.
The one that's in every black neighborhood, that shit is bullshit and it's trash. And that motivates the bullshit music coming out the neighborhood. I don't care. I'm making that shit up. I don't care. Hennessy is the destruction of young black folk, because that's the first thing they want to drink when they're doing something that's fucked up. And what they say, well, I was on that yak last night. That's your fucking problem.
Yeah. Okay, that was a good little segment, man. That's why I like doing Black Blasphemy, man. You should not feel embarrassed for the shit that you believe in, the shit that you like or don't like. You know what I'm saying? They assume that all black people like fried chicken and watermelon. That is, you know what I'm saying? So that's the purpose of the Black Blasphemy segment.
I should have said watermelon. I don't eat watermelon, but I don't.
Love me some watermelon, dog.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So, Mark Montgomery, Markmont on IG. Let me ask you this, because I like doing that with business owners. What was your first business? Cuz was you a candy kid hustler in school? Like, what was your first business ever?
You hit the nail right on the head. I sold candy on the school bus. I mean, yeah, that was definitely the first one. And I would be willing to bet that there's a big difference in the type of business person that did that versus didn't. But yeah, that was my first one.
Yeah, that's what's up too. That was mine too. Usually that or raking yards. I think it was that. Since we in the South, we ain't got no snow, so our snow is leaves. If you want to compare or if you want to align them. But it was either that or raking leaves. I can't remember exactly which one.
I definitely shoveling driveways. Massachusetts, winter, snow, right? So I've definitely shoveled driveways for money as well. That was in the same range.
And what was that entrepreneurial spirit born out of?
I think when I was younger, it was just like, oh, if I get a little extra money, that's extra snacks. What? Extra snacks? Especially during the summertime, like that's a vibe right there.
For sure.
I think as I grew older, or as I grew up, I don't know when the pivot happened, but like my brother is 8 years older than me, and he always looked fresh still to this day, and seeing him look fresh, that definitely made me want to keep my money right so that I could eventually buy my own garments and whatnot. So that was another one.
For sure.
That's well, never mind. I ain't about to get in there. Go ahead.
What you not about to get into? We don't do that.
I was gonna say, I was gonna say it just because he said that. We got a cousin of ours. He was like, he joined the military because my dad used to always come home fresh, new electronics and all that. And then my brother joined the military, and he saw my brother go and do the same thing. So it's the perception of black people seeing other people look good and do good that we want to do it. But it's crazy because we just talk about this young generation, and they look at the guns, the women, and the drugs and the cars instead of looking at the property, the real estate.
But also, again, we had this conversation before. I think there's a difference. You walking down the street, knocking on a stranger's door with a lawnmower now can get you killed.
And has.
You feel me?
Yeah.
If you're a young black man, it can get you killed. And you had no ill intent for nothing. You feel me?
I'm talking about the motivation. I'm talking about the motivation to do something.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I'm just talking about, Black Wall Street. Everybody in Black Wall Street, every picture you see of everybody in Black Wall Street, they was suits, ties, dresses, but that was the time at that time. I understand that. But even now, we were talking before we went live about getting to one as before the group. And it's the same kind of, you can tell a little kid, hey dude, if you do this, if you rake yards or cut grass, this is the hustle. I can map out the hustle to you. But then if you tell them in front of his friends, either he gonna downplay the shit, be like, man, I ain't gonna do that shit, or it's gonna go one ear and out the other because his surroundings don't agree with it at that time.
Yeah, surroundings, scale of surroundings, scale of impact is dramatically different now than in the 90s, right? 90s, early 90s, no internet, you know what I mean? No cell phones, right? So these days, you got to be a super parent, right? Or you got to be, a super friend, right? If you're not really on point, let's just stay in the context of like kids, right? And adults. If you're not on point with your kids, then social media is going to sweep them up, or their friends are going to sweep them up. What neighborhood are you living in? What state are you living in? What are the demographics of that state and that town or that city, that you're living in? These are serious consequences or enablers, right? So ultimately, yeah, that's a huge one. I think too is you can see the speed. You can see how fast somebody can make money by looking at content that shows people making money fast, or so it would seem. Or you can see a rapper and they're touring and they're doing all this, right? And they got a lifestyle that comes with that, and not know what came to make that happen. Or even if they were able to get on some like overnight success joint, the person who's viewing them, the child who's viewing them, doesn't know what that artist has to do for the upkeep. How many tracks are thrown away on a daily basis by the label before it goes to album? How many tours do they have to do? How many producers in different states do they have to work with for weeks to months that they don't want to work with, right? These things are not transparent. What is transparent is like singular shots, right? 10-second reel, right? 5 photos, right? Like things seem a certain way, and that's what folks are gleaming from what they see versus the fact of the matter. So, that's what a lot of folks gravitate towards. They think that, I can just do this and I can do this fast, and why not? Oh, I don't want to do that. That's work. That's fatigue. That's this, that, right? It's when you have examples that look like it's easy money, then you're going to try to move. You might make yourself lazy and not move as if you have to do anything to obtain, what you want. But, yeah, that's just, some of my thoughts on it.
What about the disparity in, once upon a time, you could see economic disparity in a different way. And what I mean by that is if you were poor and your mom didn't have enough money to buy you shoes or the flyest things, you could see that shit. It's not that people aren't poor anymore, obviously, but most motherfuckers have some type of mobile device. You know what I'm saying? So where we talk about the life online versus the life in real life. You know what I'm talking about? You could be a poor kid, and if you got a fucking smartphone and maybe a game system, that's enough.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I've been looking at Roblox for the last 5 years. I don't understand it, but I do know that there are 10-year-old motherfucking multi-thousandaires from fucking playing Roblox. Where we was just talking about, what you got to do to get money now. These kids literally don't have to leave home.
No, they don't.
It's almost no reason for you to not have a monetary hustle anymore. Right. Now, some shit is harder to do. You know what I'm saying? You got to grow the audience, obviously. But these kids ain't, like, we talk about riding bikes and shit. These kids they not riding bikes. They not even playing the game. They looking at somebody else play the game.
That's what I'm going to say. So my daughter, she 8 years old. She's been watching these Pretty Little White Girls for the last 5 years. She's in the house. She ain't the only one, but my brother, no, my daughter go outside.
Oh yeah, she a throwback.
These kids are watching these little white girls play outside. So you inside the house watching these little girls play outside, and they making money because they got their YouTube shit. Like some videos got like 5 million views, and they got about. Their thing is the best day ever. So each day, their dad buys them or does something with them outside the house, and they record it to post it on YouTube for other people's kids to sit in the house to watch them play outside.
Oh man.
Like I be having it, and now they done got on Roblox. So now that they've got older, so now they're on Roblox. But it was the whole point when my daughter watching. I was just like, "You in the house, watch this little girl play outside."
When you can do that.
Yeah, but my daughter, she don't got a problem. She ain't got a problem outside. It's just, I was drinking one day and I was tired of her watching. I'm just in my mind, just you watching this little girl play outside.
It's weird, right? It's like there's all these, just like this one. There's all these examples that show that real life is better. Like, what are you exactly watching on social? What are you consuming on real people in real life? How about you go enjoy some of that, right? Like, but on the flip side, I can't, I don't want to over demonize the victim. The victim is, the human that was impacted by what the rise of technology and the speed of it, right? These are the first decades where we've had this amount of technology and this amount. We'll always have. It's like there's like an exponential increase, right? It's like, and it starts kind of like it's not just like this. It's not like this. It's
right.
Like this, right? It's like it goes from you think about like 1500s, like back. Technology is not moving that fast, but we're getting to a point where it's like really starting to speed up really quick and condense to where there's
we skyding it now, girl.
Yeah, we're skyrocket speed, and ultimately that acclimation is what we're seeing. We're seeing what happens when you have too much of a good thing, right? You're seeing what happens when you have technology in this manner, but it's not actually implemented in a manner that is advantageous to being progressive, right? You think about like TikTok, good example. Americans use TikTok a lot different than people in China and Japan, dramatically different, right? And the government has their hands in TikTok China, and that causes a dramatically big difference. Getting awards for actual, objective progressive moves, that's a good thing. We're not doing that here, right? And it's just an example of like the amount of detail that would otherwise need to go into the implementation of tech and advancements and now apps and like one would think that once we got before we had cameras on the phone, one might think that that would spawn a boom in photography, and it did to a degree. There was a little bit of like persons really pushing the envelope with phone-based photography, but that was very, very short-lived until people said, you know what about me though?
Yeah.
It's me though. How about a million selfies? And it's like, there's a reason why self-portraits weren't as big a deal as the rest of photography, because you're not nearly as important as the rest of what you could capture. But somehow between a platform like an Instagram or a Facebook where you have a profile, and now it's your opportunity or your enabled opportunity to put yourself out as a thing or as a brand or as an entity, people fell into the default options of the platform instead of taking a beat to think about how to use it and not be used, and or not lean into something that's truly not you. That's a really, we're just kind of going with the flow, right? We're just being affected and impacted by what options we have versus truly thinking through these things and using them and implementing them, in a proper way.
It's crazy because every day we put the human race in jeopardy. You remember, like I said, we speaking about this from being at a certain age. You remember going outside and playing throw it up, bust it up, playing football 4-on-4, whatever you could get, and just laying in the grass. And now these kids are allergic to grass. You know what I'm saying? Like, the beauty of being a melanated people is that we absorb the sun. But we getting just as soft as the pale ones when it comes down to the heat and how much time we spend actually getting. You don't have to take a vitamin D pill. You can just go outside.
Yeah, I'm taking that pill. I'm black and big. I'm too fat. I don't like sweating all fucking day. I'm taking that pill.
And that's the thing. I'm not poking at nobody. I'm talking about myself, and I'm talking about the human condition.
Yeah. I'm going with you. I'm telling you, I'm taking that. I gotta take that pill, but fuck that heat.
At a certain point, you know what I'm saying? It's the Skynet shit. It's the Matrix shit. It's automation. If it's not controlled, will exist long after we gone.
Yeah.
You feel me?
I also think it's time. Like, we try to do so much in 24 hours, whatever. So you remember back in the day, what happened at 2 o'clock in the morning? TV went off. Now they start putting shit that entertain you late at night. In the middle of the day, whatever, but talk shows and soap operas. Now they putting shit on at 2 o'clock that will spark your interest. There's sports, live games going at 2 o'clock. So it's keeping people in the house. But what I wanted to say is, just because we're older, and there's a lot of people that don't know this shit because they're not old enough. I think the metaverse was started with Sims.
Oh, no question.
But a lot of people don't even think about that. But you remember when Sims came out around our time,
right,
and you're going around a neighborhood, you're doing all this shit like you're really that person. And Sims was big.
Still is.
Oh yeah, still is.
I'm not just saying this to say this, but I remember because I liked SimCity. Right, I was like, cool, like got your little lane, could build your little world, cool, right? But as soon as they brought it to first person with the introduction of The Sims, I was concerned. I wasn't that old, right? But I still saw it and was like, this feels like it's leaning in a direction we shouldn't be going in. And I feel like, as crazy as it sounds, this might be the inception point. Obviously, you cats ain't know inception. That was the word back then, but I'm gonna say it now because we 2020.
That was a dope movie too.
I felt like that was literally the inception point of what we have now as it pertains to, definitely metaverse and many other things. And it staged, it it wet the soil for reality for reality TV too. Reality TV was like the yin to the yang. I think Sims plus reality TV, and no, not MTV, real TV. I felt like that was still so produced that it didn't birth the actual genre yet. It was still one thing inside of one genre. But as soon as they started making more kind of like average person based shows that were reality TV, everything went fast in a bad direction, real bad. The Sims and reality TV are ridiculously big I would say asteroids, to history.
For sure. Just like, and I might be like late to the party because y'all brought up the Sim shit. A lot of the information that I consume, it comes from YouTube. Like, I very rarely watch network television. I'm trying to learn something. I'm trying to react to something. I'm trying to get more information about things. So YouTube is kind of like my primary form of entertainment education.
Mm-hmm.
But y'all brought up the Sim shit. Grand Theft Auto is, they got Grand Theft Auto roleplay.
Yeah.
And I never, like, I don't know how long they've been doing this shit now, but bro, these people are really on the Matrix shit. Like, they jumping into this fucking game, and there are gangs, there are police, there are EMTs. It's basically, it's the metaverse.
They fucking. Yep.
Bro, like, all of that shit, and it's weird unless you're a content creator. If you're one of the motherfuckers producing some shit for somebody to take in, I can't really fault you on it. But if you're doing this shit for free, I'm a little thrown. I'm a little thrown because I watched a couple minutes of some shit, and I'm like, these motherfuckers is hard body in a game.
Mm.
Like, they selling drugs and jumping people and doing drive-bys, having conversations. And for my old ass, I'm just like, when did it get that fucking deep?
Well, a lot of people are committed and they're scared to do what they can do on these games, and that both virtual world where you're allowed to do something without severe reality consequences. So they
no
choose that route.
consequence.
Yeah, no consequence.
Real life is so much better.
Matter of fact, let me ask you this, because my brother, he already know this one. You taking the red pill or the blue pill?
Oh yeah, which one does what again?
The red pill is the eye opener.
Mm-hmm.
The blue pill, you take you back.
Oh, that's red pill all day over here.
All right. So you're going to take the red pill. Now, let me ask you this, because which one will shock your system more? That or somebody like the Terminator coming from the future of like 100 years and coming back?
Probably the red pill. I mean,
because I feel like, we talk about the Matrix, and my brother knows. So there's a black lady that wrote the Terminator. She said she wrote Terminator in the Matrix.
Sure.
So you're looking at, we're 80s, early 80s, late 90s, late 70s people. So was the Terminator the first pill?
I think
it couldn't be. Not for the storyline to work.
I'm talking about for us as viewers watching something created.
Yeah.
Was it the pill for us? Because after Terminator came out, a lot of shit started. Even then, you done reference Skynet like 3 times on this podcast alone, on this tonight.
I think the Matrix itself was more the red pill than Terminator was. Up until a couple years ago, up until the Matrix comes out, really. I mean, the Terminator is a sci-fi movie that don't amount to shit but entertainment.
Yeah, but it's still the internet taking over. It's still AI.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, it plants the seed.
Yeah.
But to make it make sense, like I said, I just remember I saw the Matrix 3 days in a fucking row. I remember the push for it. I remember the very first trailer for the Matrix was 30 seconds long, and it was the monochrome screen with the symbols and shit. And it said, "What is the Matrix?" That was the very first trailer. You never saw no people. You never saw no parts of the movie. And it was like 6 months out. So whenever I saw that, I was like, what the fuck is that? And yes, I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me?
And
So
stuck. That was a thing for a while.
Bruh.
That was a thing for
That's what I'm telling you. Like the setup for it was so impactful.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Genius.
Until
really.
You get to the movie. So at that time, I was married. I got my wife at the time on board. We going to see this motherfucker when it comes out. Opening motherfucking day. It wasn't 3 days in a row. It was 2 days.
Still a long ass movie for 2 days in a row.
So check this out. I was working like an 8 to 5. And my wife was working like a swing, like a 11 to 7. One of my partners at work, one of my coworkers is like, "Bruh, it's opening day. I'm going to see the Matrix. Fuck work." 2:00 in the afternoon.
Nah.
And I can't resist. I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm going to see the Matrix. You feel me? When we get to the movie, it's mind blowing from almost Jump Street, cuz when Morpheus gets to the point where he says, "Have you ever had a dream that was so real?" And that was everything after that could have almost been factual for me. Now it's 30 fucking years later, and it's so fucking true to form. Even into the Matrix, you're looking at warehouses where it used to take 200 motherfuckers to run. Now you got 4 motherfuckers in a whole fucking warehouse and a bunch of forklifts on AI going crazy.
That's still the Terminator.
It's still the Terminator. So what do you say to how we combat that? Is it a necessity? We know as reasonable people, there's a necessity to slow this shit down. But how do we convince other people? If it was your job to convince other people to slow it down, where do you start?
Turn that bitch off. Turn that bitch off start out with like an hour a day. Just turn all the internet off for an hour a day. Unless it's EMS, emergency responses, you turn that bitch off for everybody in public for 1 hour a day. What do they say? 21 days in a row makes a habit. 21 days in a row, you shut that bitch off at 2 a.m. to 3 a.m.
Sometimes, a lot of times when we're talking about getting somewhere on the highway, what is Google Maps going to do when you miss your exit?
You read a map. You've been reading
you go all the way back around the whole distance that you just went in the wrong direction, right? I think there's a lot to take from that. I think that sometimes it's not as simple as you trudging forward. Sometimes you have to go backwards to get on the right route that you forked at, right? I think there's a lot of value. There's always going to exist an exorbitant amount of value inside of real life that you're not taking advantage of, even before the internet, right? So if you can imagine, we're not net positive, we're not net more with the internet and with everything else. We're actually that much more distracted than we were before we had the internet, and we were taking more advantage of real 3D life, right? So there's two things I think. I think one is putting value and attention towards what is simple, what is practical, and trying to iteratively think about these two big boulders, right? It's very important to always be tracking towards simplicity and practicality. If we're not doing that with everything, then things can get complicated for no real reason. Also, yes, I think that if we put proper value towards just what is real and let that kind of shine through a lot more consciously and more consistently, and actually do things that are on the other side of that thought, we'll be getting back to that a lot faster and more in a more effective manner, right? I don't want people to just like, oh, I'm gonna put on a record on my record player, and this is me taking a second to go. No.
Not the hipster shit.
You need a variety. You need a variety of things to get you back aligned to putting value on 3D more than digital. You need to use digital far less. Get on a mountain, hug a tree, buy some plants, right? Like whatever. Talk to your friends more. Talk to your friends more. Talk to your family more. Talk to more people on the street. Listen more in your conversations. Your conversations aren't just about you, right? Maybe be a little bit more pointed in how you and your friend or you or your family member are talking, so that there's an actual progression within what y'all are doing instead of just flapping gums, right? This is all about, this all leans into consciousness. You need to be conscious with what's going on and what is what and what ain't, instead of just going with the autopilot of life. You open up Facebook, check this out. Most people are going to open up Facebook, right? If you're still on Facebook, or you're going to open up Instagram, and who you're following, based off of who you're following, that's going to make the app leverage you thousands to infinity options. That's a lot different than if I open up Facebook. This is my Facebook. I open up Facebook, I'm surfaced no content. There are no suggestions. It actually looks broken. It's loading, right? Because I'm not following anybody. I'm only inside a few Facebook plant groups, right? So I open up Facebook, and now I'm taking a beat to think, what do I need to do or what do I want to do, versus, oh, I have got 10 million options that are surfaced my way for me to decide which one I want to engage in. These are completely divergent things. Right?
97 notifications on what you should look.
I have no notifications on my phone. I turn all notifications off. I have no audio alerts. Like the only alerts I have is like calendars for work, and I think that's like it. And if it's like on standby screen, it'll show me a text message, right? That's it. Outside of that, no red dot with a number, no sounds, no buzzing, none of that. You have to be able to get a hold of your consciousness and think. You need to be able to think through your decisions, not make a decision based on options that are constantly funneled your way. That's how you're able to be simple. That's how you're able to be progressive. That's how you're able to see that 40 to 50 hours a week on the job is not a good working model for the end goal of your life. There's a copious amount of ridiculous things that make no sense in your life experience, yet and still you still do them, because you're not taking a moment to just think through it for a sec. You don't have to be super technical. You don't have to be super advanced. But why are you? Because you're conditioned to be that way. We put value on these things. Why do people look at art and art school and artists in this way that's so super duper light and all that? Because they're comparing the difficulty of a curriculum base like math, science, these types of curriculum classes versus the ease that comes with art. So they smush together, oh, that's easy, that's not hard, that's not valuable, right? But that's a really bad deduction. Ultimately, simple is not necessarily easy. It's not easy to make a logo, yet and still the result is simple, right? So if you have a distorted perspective on what's quote unquote easy, if you're putting easy and simple in the same bucket, then you're gonna make things complicated and make things technical because you think that that's where your value is. But you need to take simple and apply that to your life. You need to take consciousness and apply that to your life. You need to bring simplicity to your consciousness to reduce and simplify things down so you can see, I need to drink more water. I need to have a balanced diet. My relatives died early because of this eating habit. Maybe I shouldn't drink this much, right? Maybe I should call my parents because they're getting grown. Maybe I should save some. These things, right? These things, like there's so many basics that we overlook and jump so far over, right? But ultimately, yeah, that is my answer, right? That is my answer.
But you know what? We talked about it. as advanced some of us are as individuals, we do not know how to reset our algorithm. So even if you are on Facebook all day and you looked at my bad, Sexy Red. You watch one video, now you don't watch 2 videos. Now your algorithm is starting to say, hey, you like 3 videos, 4 videos, 5 videos. Like my brother said, man, if you do something off the wall, it will reset, but you got to keep looking at off the wall shit.
Yep.
So in the
not
same
even off the
that,
wall, but just shit that's shit that you're interested in.
But we should also do, like as you say in China, is govern. Look at inspirational shit. Look at motivational shit. Look at how to be a business owner. Look at how to reconnect with your family. Look at how to raise kids. Look at this other stuff you can type in. You don't have to just keep swiping till you find them. You can type something in to teach you how to do something. And people, you would be shocked because people always talk about the swipe. You never hear people talk about the input. They don't talk about the data entry. They just talk about the swipe. Well, I kept swiping. I swiped 15 times and I got you. Type the shit in. So we too lazy to type or swipe. Swipe letters. I'm talking swipe words. We're too lazy to swipe words, but we swipe left and right.
It's the same difference, man. Look, Mark, you gave us way more content and way more. Well, brother, I'm getting to that.
Yo-yo shit dope.
No, you gave us a lot of perspective, and that's the star of the show. We're not the stars of the show. It's the conversations. It's the conversations that Black people can have, and it be a safe space to have the conversation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A lot of times we talked about it earlier is the peer pressure of talking about what's popular. Now, don't get it twisted. I was fully immersed in Kendrick versus Drake.
Sure.
Fully immersed. But that's because I'm a fan of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't fully immersed in it being effective to my life. I knew I was spending time on shit that didn't necessarily have an impact on my life per se. Not like some of these other takes and some of these other people that are like, man, fuck Kendrick, he was dirty for that. He did Drake wrong, or those, or vice versa. Whatever those types of opinions are.
Spent 7 hours trying to dissect something.
You know what I'm saying? That type of shit. And we did it. We did spend, like I said, we spent time on it. Our last show was about that. But also, I like puppies, so I'm gonna watch puppy videos and shit like that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Also, you know what I want to do, cuz? I want to cash me a fucking ant farm. Have you seen them do that shit?
No.
It's like they take some type of metal alloy, copper, nickel, something like that, and they'll pour it into a fucking ant, like an outside ant farm.
That's blasphemy.
And essentially,
Black people don't do shit like that.
It don't matter what Black people do. It's what I do. You feel me? But they'll pull out this metal alloy of this fucking ant farm, and you can see the dens and the storage areas and this whole ant path, and it comes out and it looks like a dope piece of artwork. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Don't take for granted the things that you're interested in. Don't be embarrassed about the things that you're interested in. It's your life, man. We spend so much time, and you just said it, I'm just kind of echoing. We spend so much time doing what other people want us to do. I believe in a higher power. I also believe that a higher power did not put us here to work for 50 years and die.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
But again, Mark, you gave us a dope conversation, man. This was food for my soul, having these types of conversations. I hate to do it as an afterthought, and it's not an afterthought, but tell us about your company and your business ventures and just things that you got going on for yourself right now.
Yeah, no, that's actually that's a perfect and very timely segue. I talk about that stuff often, and a lot of it's been documented. So I'm much, I appreciate y'all taking this particular angle, and this ordering of discussion topics for sure. But now that we're here, specific to, let's say, so on the yo-yo side or on the SkillToy side of things, for those that don't know, a SkillToy is a toy that you do tricks with, right? A yo-yo, that is a SkillToy. Some people might know of a Chinese yo-yo, that's a Diablo. It's like what looks to be a much bigger rubber yo-yo, 2 sticks and a string to hold this object. You might have seen this at fairs or circus, things of this nature, but not being afraid to do what you enjoy and love. That's you said this is integral to the rest of my life, right? If I cared about what other people might think, or if I cared about other people's interest of what they thought was cool and fun more than my own, then I might not have gone through the route that I did with yo-yos and with toys. Basically what happened was, in 96, I had seen, a Omega commercial, and I was like, that's amazing. But I don't know if I believe they can actually do that with like a cheap, standard yo-yo. So I got one. I got a real cheap one. And after a couple days, I was able to do a sleeper, and it felt like a revelation. It was like the big bang in my little kid brain. And I was like, well, if you can do this, then that means what they did on TV is actually, this is amazing, right? So that got me really big
just like
into yo-yos. And in 2000, when I decided to be more serious about it, I started competing at the first contest I went to was one of Yomega's contests. It was in Rhode Island at the time, and ultimately the tricks that I learned, the people that I met, the friends that I made, the whole experience, everything about it was just so awesome that I just kept doing it and kept practicing, kept competing. And it's taken me to where I'm at now, and I'm gonna shortchange that whole thing because I could talk on about details in that for days. But ultimately, where I'm at now is in 2003, I got a world yo-yo title, so I'm a former world yo-yo champion. In between 2017 and 2018, me and one of my business partners, Will Prater, we started Markmont Shop. It was originally gonna be me bringing my signature string back into the market. I know it sounds crazy. Signature, what do you mean? There's different yo-yo string? Yes, there's different yo-yo string. And I had a signature yo-yo string. Yes, I've had different signature yo-yos, but specifically I had a string, and I wanted to bring that back to market. So I approached my manufacturer and was able to take in his company and have him train Will on how to make the string. Will's girlfriend actually found a live workspace in downtown Oregon, and that's how we decided to, instead of doing just string, turn it into an actual shop. I didn't want to keep myself beholden to SkillToys, so we made it Markmont Shop. So it's SkillToys and curated goods. Also sell coffee, I've sold different accessories, and there's a lot more products to come, like plants. So that's one side of my business operations, is selling SkillToys and curated goods, and that's on Markmont Shop. Another side is me and a few former coworkers decided to start a podcast, and that quickly turned into a digital design agency. We were open to the idea of bringing on maybe 30% of our hours being used for work for clients, but then we got so much signed work, thank God, that we had to decide if we were going to make it bigger and blow it out into an agency or not. And ultimately, we decided to do an agency. Mind you, I'd never actually met my partners, Sean Kennedy and Chris Finlayson, in person prior to us starting the business. I actually didn't meet Chris until a year into us running the business, and I didn't meet Sean until a year and a half or 2 years into running the business. So I say that because sometimes what you learn needs to be leveraged. What you deduce from somebody's character, you need to leverage that ability, right? Ability begets ability. Ability begets gains, right? You need to learn how to judge people righteously, right? You need to be able to understand business at a certain level to be able to make a decision like that, to be able to see what truly is tracking on some good stuff or nah, right? You need to be constantly paying attention to just what is of value and what could potentially be an opportunity. The string that I make, there was a gentleman inside of the yo-yo community who wanted to make a signature string for me in collaboration. Wasn't my idea, wasn't uniquely my idea, and it was unprecedented. But I was like, French gentleman seems to be engaged in me as a yo-yo player. This seems like a good idea. I'll give it a shot. So we gave it a shot and we massaged it over like 4 years of prototyping, and that became my signature string, which eventually came to market. That string would then lead to me employing my partner Will, and then that would lead to Markmont's shop. So sometimes things daisy chain in a very interesting way. But yeah, anyway, to step back to the agency, our agency is called MF&K, Montgomery, Finlayson, and Kennedy. No, we're not a law firm, and yes, we do offer design services, mainly digital products, so apps, things of that nature, and ultimately traditional branding and pretty much full stack design services. Outside of that, I have a few podcasts coming. I do voiceover. I've been doing that for about 7 years now. And I plan on transitioning into selling plants. I'm really into plants pretty much since about 8 months to 12 months into COVID. I got into plants real aggressively. And I'm in the process of trying to scale that as a true business because I love it. And because from a square business standpoint, having done a variety of things that were, fun but not lucrative, or lucrative but not fun, juggling, just really dabbling in a lot of different ventures, I was able to see that, I like this one, right? This is something that this already takes a lot of time to do. Taking care of plants, especially a lot of plants, is already a lot of work. If I can just be doing this and this has money coming in, then let me look into that. And once I kind of looked behind, once I looked behind, all the details of just what it would take to do plants as business and got involved in the community, it was just very easy to see like, yeah, I think I could really enjoy this. I think this is going to be a really good way for me to live. We don't do that, right? You graduate from college and you think about who do you want to work for. You don't think about what skills do you want to leverage. What do you actually enjoy doing that has money coming in? Just because you love it doesn't mean you're going to enjoy doing that for money, right? So it takes a lot of trial and error for you to figure out what you can do as a business that you enjoy. You don't want to make a business that this has you owning a job that you don't like. That's why it's important for you to develop your business and develop the process that you actually enjoy. It's not enough to just make an LLC. It's not enough to just mirror what you saw at the other companies that you worked at or what have you. You need to massage all these things. And that's ultimately, what I would say to anybody, not that you're asking, but anybody that's looking to have the best life that they want to have, which is going to lead you to either offering a service or selling an item or producing content, right? Something, right? If you want to have optimal life, that's probably going to come by you owning your schedule. If you don't own your business or own your means of revenue, it's going to be probably impossible for you to own your schedule, i.e. own your freedom of time, right? So if you push yourself over the uncomfortable ledge of discomfort that is you figuring it out, right? And I'm not saying that has to be a business, but you do need to do business, right? You do need to do business. That is your barrier to entry, right? But you should do this because this will enable you to own your dollars in, own your time spent, right? So my tip is to practically look at your life and see what you like and don't like, and let that guide you towards really accepting what's required for you to get to where you want to go, and not shy away from the discomforts of what's keeping you from trying to, no, I don't want to do that because I got to pay for this car, I got to pay for these kids, I got to pay for this house, I'm going to just hold on to this job got benefits. Yeah, you're saying that now. You might not be saying that in 5 years. You might not be saying that in 10 years. You might not even have that job. They might let you go, right? You love that industry, but you might hate that industry in 10 years, right? So it's really important that regardless of where you're at, if you don't own some means of revenue that's not assisted by a boss or employer, you really should put some time towards figuring out how that happens, because you don't want to be older and tired or wrapped up under a lot of responsibilities trying to figure out how you're going to learn how to use Zoom, right? Or learn how to post on Instagram, right? That's a crazy spot to be. And we saw that. We saw that during COVID. We saw plenty of older persons for the first time getting on Facebook, for the first time getting on Instagram. You do not want that when it comes to you trying to massage your life into something you want. So it would behoove you, right? That's like my 5th big word for the night, right? It would really behoove anybody, and I want to I really want people to hear this. Yo, think through what you could want to do and start chipping away at that. Even if you figure out 10,000 things you don't want to do, guess what? You've just put in 10,000 instances of effort in figuring out what it is gonna be. If you don't figure out what it's gonna be, then you're liable to find yourself in a situation of what? Regret. You don't know. You don't know what it feels like to live with regret yet. You know what it feels like to live with the regrets you have currently, now current tense. Yes? Yes. You don't know what it feels like to have regret then, later. You don't know. You don't know how you're going to grow and mature and how that's going to affect the regret that's on your back. You don't want that. I guarantee you don't. I guarantee what you do want is comfort and easement of life. You want freedom, right? You want what you want. What you're impacted by that you see on social media, let that guide you towards making effort, right? If you see something that catches your attention, oh man, look at this destination. Look at this car. Look at these clothes. Look at how much time they have on their schedule. Look at little Jimmy frolicking on the pasture, right? Like you see these things, you're enthused by these things, right? Why would you not let these things be what pushes you to try to get some, or to try to get your blend of what that is going to be, right? Whatever it is, whatever it takes. There's a lot of different forcing mechanisms that can help you get over that ledge of doing what you find uncomfortable. Lastly, I'll say it's a matter of choosing which piece of discomfort. Let's say it's a 1 out of 10, level 1 of 10 discomfort for you to hold down the job, right? Holding down the job, this comes at a level 1. If I try to make my own business, or if I try to be the boss, or if I try to have business partners, that's like a level 8 or like a level 9. Well, level 1 to 10 isn't going to see you winning. That's just like getting punched in the face when you wake up every morning, right? It ain't going to kill you, right? But you're not going to get out of that. You can't get out. There's no red pill. Right? So you can choose 1 out of 10 discomfort, 1 out of 10 discomfort level, or for every day of your life, right? Until you retire and you're old and you don't have enough physicality to do the things that you loved to do 30 years ago. That sounds great, right? Or you can do a level 8 discomfort for 1 year and let that cause easement to bring down that level to a 3 year 2. And now in year 3, you might be eyeing a means of being able to massage that out to no discomfort, right? Do not be fooled by the discomfort level of the life you have because you feel like the discomfort of something else harder is too uncomfortable for you to do it. Don't do that. I encourage you to not do that.
Bro, normally I would jump in and speak over or try to, direct the conversation a certain way, and I couldn't do it. I mean, if I had a tambourine right now, I would be shouting, "Can I get a witness?" We don't speak about creating our own destiny enough. We speak about the struggle, and we don't give ourselves any options. The one thing, like when my brother sent me your information, right? I saw the yo-yos and I was like immediately intrigued. The things that we care about, the things that we have interest in that are not the mass, most popular thing are probably going to be the most lucrative things. For an example, Whoopi Goldberg, she used to have a strand of marijuana, right? Her weed didn't get you high. her weed was derived specifically to deal with women and menstrual cramps. It's the niche things that will make for a successful business model, man. Don't get into trying to make the next big product. Do what you're interested in. Be a wealth of knowledge for that thing that you're interested in. And it's how many billions of motherfuckers on this planet? You need less than 1% of them motherfuckers to make you wealthy.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
So there is no idea that's too small. It's some dumbass ideas. Don't get it twisted.
Right.
But there is no idea that's too small or that does not have an audience.
Yes.
We all fundamentally the same motherfucker. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
In the human landscape. But bro, you said a whole lot in a small frame of time. I can't say how much I appreciate you spending your time. That's what we always say. People seem to think that money and the bag is the most valuable commodity in the world. It's time.
Time. Priceless.
Time is the only thing in the world that you will never get back. You can see a return on money. You can lose $200 and find $200. You will never get the last hour of your life back.
No.
And you just gave us a valuable hour of your time. Carolina, what you got?
Networking is superpower. That's about it. I mean, we do what we normally do. This shit be no script. Our shit is based off conversation. I tell people that shit all the time. We've had people ask for specific questions you want asked or answered. It's not about this. It's about the conversation. We want that shit to flow out.
Yeah.
And it's not about the numbers. You might have 20 people watching. You might have 2 people watching. You might have 1. It's not about that. What we take pride in is the conversation. We want the guests to want to come back, because a guest is a viewer and a viewer can become a guest at the same time. People got to understand that shit. Once again, like my brother said, our homeboy Wordworks, he sent me one of your videos. I was like, damn, that's a yo-yo. Every time I get a yo-yo, that bitch end up in a knot. I've always liked yo-yos. It always end up in a knot.
Oh yeah, you a ninja, cuz.
Yeah, it don't last long. 2-3 days, it's in a knot. And I'm talking about 2-3 days me messing with it, it's in a knot. Mm-hmm. I told my brother about the butterfly knife. I saw you working the butterfly knife. Dope. The cars. I love playing spades. The cars. That shuffling you was doing. I was like, man, I told him, bro, your hand-eye coordination is ridiculous. But once again, you have an open seat. I tell people that shit, and I don't think people understand. When I say you have open seat, all you have to do is be like, I got time today. You got time today? We'll put you on the show. A lot of people wait for me to invite them back. It's an open chair. You have an open chair. Just say, hey, you want to come back, and we'll spark another conversation. It was dope. Well, I hope you enjoyed yourself. You get a message tomorrow. Don't worry about it. Just answer the message, and we'll be all good. But I appreciate you coming on here.
No, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate y'all. This is I love this. This is I enjoy this the most. If I had to, make my Mount Rushmore of things that I enjoy, talking, communicating with people, that 3D, like that's number one. That's definitely number one. And there's the most power in doing, not in the thinking. Hey, look, thinking is important. Let's not do that. Let's not mince my words, right? But you have to take action, right? Regardless of, like, this shot is not where I started, right? Like my first shot was like in my kitchen, webcam, black sheet over the stuff, bad, really bad, right? So, but you improve over time, right? And if you're doing, well, you're still doing, right? You can improve while you're on the go, right? You can grab your breakfast and eat the breakfast on the bus on the way to school. You're still gonna get to school, but if you don't get on that bus, you ain't gonna get to school, right?
Mhm.
So I just, I applaud y'all doing it, and I would just say, just keep doing it. The motto of one of my movements that I've started, i.e., fully freestyle, is keep going. It's as simple as that, right? We, like I said earlier, we put too much value on technical things that are complicated. Nike is just do it. How long has that stayed staple, and how long has it progressed and changed in its meaning, right? It's very powerful, right? Keep going, keep doing, right? That's it. Keep what's most important to you simple. That will make it a lot easier for you to stay on track with what you're trying to accomplish.
Probably the
So,
best
I just say,
slogan of all
please
time.
just keep going.
Yeah, that's probably the best, most simplest. It's timeless. Just do it. It's timeless. If a motherfucker find a piece of paper in 500 years from a shoebox that says just do it, they know exactly what it means.
Yeah. And if they didn't, they could still use it progressively in the most effective humanistic way. I don't think there's any more powerful statement written by man. You know what I mean?
That's dope, man. Mark Montgomery, ladies and gentlemen. He's Markmont, MARKMONT on IG. Check him out, man. Definitely check out his podcast coming up. Just a super dope individual, an extraordinary human being that if you bumped into at the gas station, you would just be like, excuse me, not knowing that he might have words that could change your fucking life. Everybody is extraordinary, man. Everybody's extraordinary. Give them time.
Yeah.
And grace.
Yeah.
Look.
Ask the right questions and ask more questions.
I'm Jay Walking III. That's Carolina Dirt 803. Again, Mark Mont, we appreciate you. We appreciate your time. We appreciate your words. Until the next time, man, love the people who love you back. That'll be easy, man. We gone.